Hey everyone, John Henry here from School of Trade. Today we're going to be taking a look at a wave short here off the channel highs. Everything looking really good to the downside here. Final target is just going to get stacked up on this low down here. We've been getting weaker and weaker on these downsides, so I'm not expecting a full test of the channel lows, but everything else is looking really good. So this is one of those examples that you don't get very often of an absolutely picture-perfect wave pattern. First off, we're coming just smack off of the channel highs. That by itself is good enough. But then you get a nice little wave pattern trigger zone test in here with a to the tick test and a reversal bar right off that level. I mean, you really can't ask for a much better setup than that. So we're hopping in here. We're short 4 contracts at 58.74. Stop is above the high at 58.84. Nice small stop there. First target's coming off at 58.60. So if we get that one filled, we're looking at a first target of 14 ticks. Definitely not bad by itself. And then if we really want to start running here, we're looking for an extended target down here to 58.39, and then a lock in 35 ticks. Now we're taking 2 off at 60 and 2 off at 39. So 14 and 14 plus another 35 and 35. That gives us 98 ticks to the downside if we can get all of them hit. So absolutely beautiful setup. I'm half tempted just to move this 60 down to 59 just to make it an even 100. But everything is looking really good. We had an exact test of the trigger zone right at the channel highs. Really can't ask for a better setup. Now it's just a matter of time of letting it do its thing. Crude oil has been really bearish all morning in that it just hasn't stopped falling. We tried getting up to the highs here. You know, we had a good strong push, and then they just couldn't make it and then fell off. And since we've fallen off there, we just haven't stopped falling. It's just been wave pattern after wave pattern after wave pattern all the way down. And it looks like today might end up being one of those strong pushing days where it just keeps going and going and going and going. So because of that, we're just going to take it along for the ride, and we're hopping in on pretty much all the good wave patterns on the way down. It's been a really profitable morning so far. So looking for our first target to get hit here at 58.60. Once we get that one hit, stop goes to break even just like normal. No reason to really leave it back for any situation just because we've been so bearish all morning. We shouldn't be coming back anyway. So we'll move our stop to break even and probably break even +1 after we get this target filled at 60. And then we're looking for just a bigger push to the downside here to fill 39. And again, normally you'd be looking for, with as bearish as it's been, you'd be looking for a bigger target. You know, we do have targets down here. The next one would be down here at 16. But the problem with looking at 16 is we've been getting a little bit weaker, right? We're still super bearish, but we couldn't test the channel lows down here. We couldn't get back to it down here. We've seen that a couple times so far, so I don't really want to try to force a market to go down and test the channel lows if it hasn't over the last, 3 times. So because of that, I'm okay taking everything off right here above this 37 level, just because that takes us out ahead of the channel. Even if it does fall short, we're still probably going to get filled there. So it just puts us in a nicer position. Now, overall, you can look to trail down a larger one to 16 and down to 93. That's definitely a possibility. Just understand that you're probably going to be sitting in the trade for a while. So basically, the way that I'm looking at it is I'm okay hopping in, taking an earlier target, and then just taking the next wave pattern and just getting in and out, and kind of playing it that way instead of trying to look for one big runner. I'd rather take 3 or 4 trades that all win rather than just one big one. So I can compound my trades in that sense. So again, you do have the option here. I'm looking for quicker moves more so than one big move, just because I think on this type of day we can get those kinds of moves. So overall, we got our first target filled. Not much of a problem there. Got 2 off at 14. Looking for a continued move underneath this low here below 53 down into 39. And this low here at 53, this is kind of the do or die scenario, if you will. We really need to break through that 53 because that's kind of where we initially saw that weakness we were talking about. We couldn't get back down to the channel here, so we really need to see the sellers kick it up a notch and break through that. Once they break through that, we should be perfectly fine to go pushing through the lows, but it's just a matter of when that happens. Are we going to bounce here and then push up and stop us out, and then, how it always goes, then go down, or are we going to go down now? That's kind of why, in this case, even though we are very bearish, I want to leave my stop at break even because I don't want to give any of this move back. If it's going to catch a bigger rise higher, I'm going to look for a bigger bigger wave pattern to hop in short again. So we're definitely still bearish. It's just a matter of whether or not this specific wave pattern is going to run, or if we're going to be looking for a bigger wave pattern to hop in for a little bit of a bigger trade. So far, it looks like this one's going to be working pretty fine here. But this low point here, there we go. We got that one broken. So we broke below that 53 area, and that's a really big key area of support that we needed to break through. Now we should be okay to pretty much just fall from here. And you can see we're kind of seeing that follow through. So we'll give this a little bit of time. It does seem to be kind of meandering a little bit in the sense that it's a little bit slower, but looking for that final target down at 39. All right, we're seeing the sellers come back in, really smacking this thing, and there we go, we got our target filled. Beautiful move down. This is exactly what we were looking for. You can't really ask for a better wave pattern than this. Right off the channel highs and exact to the tick test of the trigger zone and a reversal bar coming off of it on a bearish day. I mean, just line them up and knock them down. Easy, easy trade. So that's going to be the trade this time around. Really, again, pretty straightforward trade overall. 98 ticks on the trade, 14, 2 off at 14 on the first one, 2 off at 35 on the second one. And again, you do have an option. If you want to look for a bigger runner, your next target's going to be down here at 16. So I'd probably go to 18. And that would be where you're taking your target off. And you could honestly probably hold down to 93 and take some profit at 95 and just kind of, look for that continued movement to the downside. But this is going to do it for us. Nice, easy move down, $980 on the trade, 98 ticks. So it's a beautiful, easy move down. If you have any questions about it, feel free to send an email to School of Trade. Don't forget to check out our trial at schooloftrade.com. And as always, we'll catch you next time.